Welcome back. I'm delighted that Will Young, amazing singer, LGBTQ campaigner, is with me now. Your album, which I'm going to hold up.
Thank you for holding up. It's on vinyl.
There you are. If you come on the programme, we'll always plug your stuff.
Thank you.
Wonderful vinyl. You're top of the charts.
Yeah.
But the last thing I read about you, which was some time ago, was you were giving up music. So what went wrong?
Well, I mean, I did want to give up music, but I sort of did that pretentious pop star thing of thinking that people care. You know, when you go, I'm leaving my job, I'll get a headline, and then going, oh, all right, I'll come back to it. And I was actually very overworked.
OK.
Yeah, and so... and I had been very ill, so...
Oh, really? I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, that's OK. But
oh, God.
I'm better now. So
You look very well.
Thank you. It's a lot of makeup. The suit isn't even mine. And,
Is it? Who did you nick it from?
Borrowed it.
Is it, is it one of yours, Mark?
No, I don't think mine would fit, or vice versa, to be honest.
That'd be good for the Twitter section, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but now I've worked out a way of doing it.
OK.
Doing it, so I'm enjoying it, yeah, a lot.
So, a couple of things. One is, at the time, you actually talked, I think, about perhaps studying therapy and getting into that. Have you done any of that, or...?
No, not yet. I want to be a psychotherapist, yeah. I'd like to specialise in teenagers.
OK.
Yeah, but that's it takes a long time.
It's a long road. No, it's a long road.
Yeah.
So, talking about teenagers, you have a personal link with the Birmingham school.
Yes.
Where we've seen protesters outside that school...
Yes.
criticising the fact that they give lessons in that school to raise awareness about the issues faced by members...
No Outsiders is the...
Yeah.
The Andrew Moffat, is the teacher.
So tell me, so why were you in that school? I think you are supporting the deputy head there, who is insistent that these lessons, essentially about gender, sexual diversity, need to go on. Yeah,
I think the first thing to point out is it's not just about gender, sexual diversity. That's what's been picked up, but it's actually about all kind of diversity. So, you know, you can be vegetarian or not vegetarian. So these are the things that themes that he embraces.
So it's not just about people who transgender or lesbian or gay. No. It is broader than that.
It's broader than that, definitely. I mean, it's been picked up by what
it's about understanding and tolerance of people who are different from ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And what the kids actually did is they went out and started giving flowers to people. They were giving flowers to people in the public, saying, you know, no outsiders. This initiative was absolutely genius. The problem is that what we have with adults put their own agenda onto these things. You know, children are not obsessed with sex. Adults are obsessed with sex. And when it comes to being LGBTQ+, they're obsessed with it. The kids just... The more you teach kids about diversity, the more happy they are with themselves, because we're all different, you know? But the problem is we get people who pick it up and their own identity is hanging on the, you know, on the cliff edge, so they get terrified. But they're not thinking about their kids. I completely defend the right to anyone to speak their opinions in a healthy, you know, adult way. But it's their identity that's being threatened. And I think the problem is that the government is still quite wishy-washy on what's going to be taught in schools, what isn't. You know, they say, oh, well, yeah, I think we will be teaching it in schools, but watch this space.
And what was your own experience growing up? I mean, did you feel that you were in a sort of tolerant environment?
No, but I went to a dreadful, archaic boarding school. I mean, you know, no, not at all.
Was it horrible?
Yeah, dreadful. I mean, you know, half the teachers were sexually abusive. I mean, no, so that was... Which I've spoken about before, so... No, it was horrific. I mean, how far it's come since I've been a pop star, by the way. I was openly gay from the beginning of my career. So in 17 years, it's absolutely wonderful. But what I always say is, we're in the Pride Month coming up to Pride, is I'm OK, I'm 40, I'm OK, but we need to continue to think about our children. And if we're not aiding them in the educational area, then we're doing them a huge disservice.
I mean, could I just bring in Ben for a second? I mean, your Labour colleague, Roger Godsiff, was actually demonstrating with parents who were concerned about these lessons going on in this Birmingham school. Do you think he was wrong?
Absolutely despicable despicable behaviour. Children are dying. They're taking their own lives because of homophobic bullying. And the idea that children shouldn't be allowed to know about the diverse society we live in, and I pay absolute tribute to what Will is doing and has done actually throughout his career. And we've still got a lot of work to do on this, and supporting that school and making sure that children have the information they need to be able to survive and look after themselves.
Mark, what's your view?
Well, there was a debate earlier in the week. I wasn't in the debate, but I was watching some of it from my office. And, you know, Roger Goldsmith gave one point of view. There were some passionate counter-arguments. I mean, he's an MP. He's a local MP. I'm not. It's not my part of the United Kingdom. My broad view on this is that, I think we're a much more kind of live and let live and tolerant society than perhaps we were even sort of 20 or 30 years ago.
What about schools?
And that's a good thing from your point of view.
What about schools?
In that sense, I think that we have evolved. But I mean,
and what about in schools? What's your opinion on whether those lessons...
The role of teachers in raising these issues with kids?
I don't think that's wrong. Where, if I'm honest, I do have an issue, is where some people try to get very young children to question their own gender. I'm slightly uneasy about that.
How are they doing that?
There are organisations like Mermaids and others who I think have been involved in some of that, although They're
just supporting families.
So this is a really
gender.
complicated and difficult issue.
It just doesn't happen. It's such a great example of this sort of Daily Mail rhetoric that comes up. I know someone whose kid wanders around in a little pink tutu, and I said the other day, "Are you Spider-Man?" He said, "No, I'm Spider-Woman. There's no problem."
You're going to forgive me because, unfortunately, we are running out of time.
Let's keep on going on Twitter.
It's been a terrific debate.